All right, guys, welcome back. So we just took a break from filming. Skylar is my awesome videographer and camera guy, and he actually mentioned to me mid-shoot that he's dealing with a little bit of lower back pain and sciatica. So Sky, tell everybody what you're kind of dealing with, and then we're gonna work through it, and I'll show you guys how I'm gonna treat and adjust it.
Definitely dealing with some issues in my neck. Last time I was in here, we did some x-rays. You brought it to my attention, I have a bone spur. So I've been dealing with that, a lot of pressure in the neck because I sit at the desk all day long editing these videos. Also sitting at the desk, I feel that I have sciatica, self-diagnosed, right? But I feel the pressure and the tingling in the foot and the pressure in the hip.
Okay, and you feel it on the left side?
Yeah, left leg.
Okay, how far down the leg does it go?
I would say I feel it in the hip, in the knee there is some pressure, and then the tingling down to the ball of my foot.
Point to that part in the foot there?
Right on that
Okay,
side
right on
there.
the outside there. All right,
Yeah.
so right off the bat, by going over the history, I can tell that the lower, it's called the S1 nerve, your first sacral nerve, that's the part of the body that controls that outer foot. So that doesn't mean that that's the nerve that's entirely affected. There could be some other things going on. But we know that in some way that's going to be part of the equation. So what I'm going to have you do, Sky, sit up nice and tall for me. I'm going to bend and twist you around a little bit, and you're going to tell me how these things feel. All right, so we're going to bend you in some motion while I press on the lower back. So bend to the left here. So I'm feeling for motion. Any pain when we bend there?
I feel pressure in that lower hip.
Okay, how about if we rotate and bend you backwards like this?
Not so much pain.
Not too much there. Okay, good. Then we're going to bend you to the side here. How do you feel there?
Maybe can you explain to me what type of pain I should be feeling?
So any discomfort on the side that we're bending, or the opposite side while we're stretching the nerve? So anything going down the leg?
I would say I felt when we bent this way, I felt some stretching there.
Okay. And now if we bend you backwards here, what do you feel there?
Not so much of it.
Nothing much? All right, let me get you to go face down. Okay, so first we're going to check his leg length. The leg length is going to help tell us where his hips are at. So right off the bat, you can see that his right leg is significantly shorter than his left. Okay, good. Do you have any pain or pressure when I bring your heels in?
There was some in my knee that it just released.
In your knee, nothing in your low back though?
Nope.
All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to feel for his SI joints here. Those are the joints right at the top of the pelvis that we sit on. And you let me know, Sky, if you got any pain in any area that I press in.
Nope.
So I feel more restriction on the right side, so I want to see if you can feel the difference between when I push there, feel that nice springy bounce,
Yep.
then when I press here.
Yeah, it seems like no bounce.
So not as much bounce. I got to kind of use a little more muscle and force to push through that. So you're restricted on that right side there. When I put my thumbs on the bony part of your pelvis here, this right side is a little bit lower. So we know the pelvis is out of alignment here. Now when I press, this is L5 right here. When I press on the right and I press on the left, what do you feel? Any difference?
A bit of a tingle through the left leg.
When I push on which side?
The left side.
The left side, and that's the restricted side. So when I push on a joint in the direction that it should move, if it's irritating a nerve, you can get symptoms going down the leg, you can get pain right in that area. All in all, it should not feel any sort of restriction. I should be able to push on any joint in the body and have it move nice and fluidly. Nothing as we get to the upper part, correct?
Not so much.
All right, and we got some tightness in our back muscles here. The body often tightens up these back muscles to protect the issue going on below. Now, another thing that could be happening is the sciatic nerve runs through some of these glute muscles here. So we're going to check those next. And you got some tightness going on in here. You feel that right there?
Yeah.
When I press on either side, do you feel any tingling or numbness or burning?
Not in those areas you were just pushing, but one of the areas.
Okay.
A little bit.
So the tightness is also going to restrict normal motion of the pelvis. So we want to keep that into consideration as well. So what we're gonna do to start, I'm gonna adjust this right side of your pelvis, and then we're gonna adjust this L5 situation here. Okay, so you're gonna have to go on your side and face that way. So now we got Sky set up in perfect position here. I'm actually gonna get you a little bit further to the edge there so your knee doesn't hit. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna twist and rotate over. And this pelvis is rocked a little bit downward, so I'm gonna push it forward to make that correction. So you just stay nice and relaxed there. Very good. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna recheck. We just did the one adjustment. We're gonna straighten those legs out. So now his legs are back even. Just from that one adjustment, we now have even legs. How does it feel when I bring your heels in? Do you still have that tension in your knee?
Yeah, it seems to just work through it after the second push you do.
All right, any tension in the lower back?
Oh, it felt a little right there.
A little bit on that left side?
Yeah.
Any numbness or tingling?
Nope.
Okay. Now, while I got Skylar here, I'm going to do an adjustment in the mid-back, primarily because he sits a lot. He's got some restriction in his rib cage right here, and some of these muscles attach down low. So anywhere that we can relieve tension in his spine is going to help out. There, take a big, deep breath in for me, Sky. Let it all the way out there. Good. Excellent. Perfect. Now you're going to go on your side and face this direction one more time for me. So now we're going to go for the lumbar spine instead of the pelvis. So this is going to be a little bit different. Good. You're going to bring that arm right here. It's going to look a little similar, but I'm going to bring your leg up. There we go. Second time's a charm. Lie face down there for me. Now let's bring those heels back in there. How does it feel on that left side like you were describing before?
Yeah, better. No pressure on this one.
No pressure there. Perfect. Do you feel any of that numbness going down the leg into the foot at all?
Nope, not at the moment.
All right, awesome. Now this guy is still here though. You feel that right there?
Yeah.
So that's his piriformis muscle. So we're going to do a little manual release on that. So bend this knee here for me. Is that pressure on the elbow okay, or is that too much?
That's good.
That's good. All right, you holler if it is. So we're going to move it through a range of motion. If you sit a lot, whether it's the car or the desk, these muscles here take on a lot of stress. We don't often move our hips internally and externally. So this is a really quick way that we can get some relief in some of these areas. Is that pressure okay, Sky?
Yeah, it's great.
All right, good.
Thanks, Doc.
Awesome. So after this, what we're going to do is we're going to check your neck. Anybody, again, who works at a desk is going to be looking down a lot. That puts a lot of stress on the neck. When the neck is stressed, the entire spine will also eventually get stressed. Awesome. So sit on up for me, Sky. Do you sleep on one particular side?
I try to sleep mostly on my back or else my neck will get messed up.
Okay. So what I'm feeling for is restriction in motion, right? So Sky has pretty good range of motion when we look at his neck. Pretty decent, but I feel a lot of restriction and tension on his left side of his neck, primarily when I anchor into that top bone, the atlas here. If I try to laterally bend him here, you feel that pressure, Sky?
Mm-hmm.
Your body kind of resists and fights it, where if I do the same thing on this right side, you feel that same sensation over here?
Not.
It moves much, much better, but right there is where we really need to focus. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to bend your head to the side here, lean over this way, turn, and I'm going to push through just like that to make the correction. Good. Now, earlier I felt that lower, feel that right there?
Mm-hmm.
So that right there is going to go into these shoulder muscles that everybody's so tight on and always wants a massage. Let that relax down there. Bring your ear down lower a little bit. Right there. A little bit more. Perfect. Very good. Very good. Now let's test that upper again. Bend here. Much better. Feel that there?
Mm-hmm.
Easy, much better lateral flexion on the left side. Boom. And then that lower joint is freed up there. What we got to work on with Sky now is Sitting up a little straighter. Working to get the posture in a better alignment there, which will help relax those trap muscles up top.
Question for you. So I can be aware of my posture for probably like a minute at a time. I know when I'm at my desk working, it starts hunching. I start hunching and then I snap back, but that lasts like a minute. How do I stay more focused on it?
So good question. One of the benefits of chiropractic care is that we're not only changing the spine, but we're also changing the brain. So chiropractic has a lot of really cool research showing that it's changing the neural patterns in the brain. So if you're consistently getting adjusted, which you're not as much as you should, that will also help more long term. But another way is just routinely getting up and exercising. Strengthening these back muscles, particularly your lat muscles, are really going to help keep yourself in a natural upright position, as well as the core. When our core gets weak from a lot of sitting, we tend to slouch and compress down. So the more that you sit, the more you got to be active and the more you got to exercise as well.
Thanks, Doc.
You got it.